morning and welcome back to my Bongo van, still on the driveway. Still haven't been anywhere exciting to talk about, and you may wonder why this week I am dressed in a nod to the wartime spirit, the land gills, keep calm and carry on and all of that. And the reason is I have been in my van this week spending quite a lot of time fiddling around, and make, do and mend is the theme of what I've been doing this week. And you may remember the last video I talked a lot about this upholstery. In fact, I've talked about this for quite a few episodes now, and I did talk about my ideal fabric that I thought that I would love to cover this in was like a nice grey crushed velvet effect. Well, there's no fabric shops open at the moment, and I didn't want to order online. Fabric seems to be, well, everything craft at the moment seems to be pretty expensive, and I'm never quite sure what the quality of the material. So I think I'm going to wait till the fabric shops open up again. But I was sitting in here, and the foam, because it was sort of raw foam, it was crumbing and making a bit of a mess everywhere. And I had a pashmina in here, so I thought, why don't I temporarily wrap my pashmina around that, which worked quite well. And then that got me to think about all the clothes in my wardrobe that I don't wear any longer. I used to wear shirts for work and all sorts of things that are just sitting in the wardrobe. So I thought I'll sacrifice those and see if I can cobble together some cushions. So I'm going to show you a few video clips of me doing that, and please, this is not a tutorial. Please don't think I'm going to be telling you how to make cushion covers. It's more just a sort of a look at the cobbling together, which is really all it is. There's no sewing machine out for this. I literally sat in the van, passed a good pleasant few hours with a mug of tea, cutting up clothes and making them fit over my cushion covers. But it's been a success. So now I have 3 pieces of individual cushions, and whether the table is up or whether the table is down, I've got these. As I said, I did say these weren't professional by any means, but they work for me. Maybe one day I'll recover them as planned, but for now these seem to work really well. So here's how I did the cushions. So I had a length of upholstery foam which I cut with a bread knife into 3, and then rummaged around the wardrobe to find some clothes that I don't wear. So this is a shirt that I used to wear for work, and a pair of trousers. I didn't wear this outfit together, gotta say that. Took the piece of foam, one of the little small pieces, so you can see the edge is quite raw there, and it was crumbling, so it desperately needed covering. And basically I took a scissors and cut the clothes up. I tried to keep the seams, as you can see, because when I went to the edge, you can see the seam here, saved me a bit of work really, and it just meant the edge was a little neater. You can see I got some pins in there, and essentially it was like wrapping a parcel. Wrapped the material around the foam and sewed and pinned it directly, pinned it to the foam and just sewed. But as you can see, finished product, reasonably neat, quite happy with a little check on there. This was a blouse, so it did need a bit more cobbling. As you can see where the sleeve was cut off, there was a bit of a gaping hole, so it did require a little bit more patchworking, but as you can see the material lended itself to a bit of patchworking anyway. So just a close-up of the seam. As you can see, I pinned directly to the foam, and then just did some over stitches to neaten the edges there. I'm sure an upholsterer would have done a much better job, but it seems to have worked anyway. So yeah, just did a corner and turn. The underneath, obviously, of the cushion with all the bits doesn't look quite as neat, but the bit that you're going to see really is pretty good. And yeah, another one done, and yeah, quite happy with those. With regard to the bigger cushion, which I used the pashmina, there was no raw edges on the pashmina, so this was much easier. And again, just like a parcel, wrapped it up and very crudely sewed these little joins here with a tack-in stitch really, because my plan is really this is just temporary. So hoping I will use the pashmina again. So yeah, just some tack-in stitches to sort of keep it in place. I'm making sure that the top bit is smooth. I sort of stretched it out as I was sewing it. 3 different pieces. These were shop made, by the way. So here's the pashmina, temporarily, because I do love this pashmina. So that's covering the middle bit, which goes over the table. And then over the little wheel boxes that I could never sit on before because they're really uncomfortable, I've got a sort of a nice check. I'm not sure that these actually go together, but I'm kind of going for a random look, and it was material that I had to hand. So yeah, one for each box. And the foam is super thick, and it's really comfy to sit on, I must say. So now when I've got the table up, I can sit down with these quite comfortably and eat dinner or sew cushion covers at the table. And that's the cushions in place, because I don't think I've ever shown on these videos the table up. So that's the table. Really shiny, so it's difficult to show. And my really comfy cushion covers. And there's one the other side. And the cushion that goes across here, for night time, I store in the storage area under the bed. Oh, and this, I bought this again in Home Bargains. It's a little grip. It's for rugs actually, but I was finding when I was driving the van, this was rolling around a bit, so that keeps that quite firm actually. And then this is me actually sitting at the table on a very comfortable cushion actually. What's for dinner? The other thing that's been missing in my van are window blinds for the driver's window and the passenger window. I've never had blinds there, and in the days when before I had the high top, I'd string a curtain or a blanket rather, sort of between the back seats so that you couldn't see into the back, but that's not really working. And I have spent a night or two on the driveway. Sad, I know. And there's a lot of light that comes through those windows. So again, in the spirit of make, do and mend, I thought, what have I got to hand that I can just stick on those windows for now? And that's when I spied my picnic blanket. And I've had this in the van quite a few years. No prizes for guessing where I bought that. It was Home Bargains. It's only a couple of quid. And it's still lovely, so there's nothing wrong with it. There's maybe a few little tears on the back. But it's got this nice sort of waterproof backing that I thought if you get condensation on the windows. And it's really black out. So my plan today is to make a template of both windows. Should be enough to get 2 windows easily out of this. I think I will get my sewing machine out today and sort of overlock it. And I've got some Velcro, and I'm going to use that and see if that works. So this is how I did the window blinds, and I just took some brown paper, a couple of sheets of paper, sellotape, scissors and a pen, and I had to sort of sellotape 2 pieces of paper together to enable it to fit. So this is it pushed against the window, and crudely drew around the window frame with a pen, as you can see, and then cut the paper out, and then paper clipped and pinned it to the picnic blanket to create the template. And then this is the template with the picnic blanket all cut out. I left a bit of a seam allowance on there as well, just to give me enough space to turn a hem. Then I got my trusty sewing machine out from the attic actually, and I just overlocked the 2 layers of the picnic blanket together, just to stop it fraying, and then turned about a 1/4 of an inch hem all the way around, not too neatly as you can tell. So to attach the finished blind to the window, I attached the sticky part of the Velcro to the frame of the window, not the actual glass. And I did that just because these windows, obviously, when you maneuver them up and down, I didn't want the Velcro catching on the mechanism. So it fitted quite nicely. It was quite a small sliver of Velcro, and it just went on that sort of inner corner of the window. And then what I did, I placed the blind up against the Velcro, and then the sort of the opposite side of the Velcro, the sort of the hook part then was placed on the blind. So the idea being, when I attach the blind, it should be in the same place every time. So just hopefully you can see it a little bit better on this clip there. This is one of the finished blinds, and what I'm doing is attaching the Velcro to all the little matching bits on the frame of the window. It's worked so well so far, so hopefully this is going to last, well, I would hope for this season at least. And that's the window, the finished blind in its place, and obviously I repeated the process to make one to match on the other side. So the windscreen blind is one that we bought ages ago from Lidl, I think, and we've kind of made that fit. But I'm really happy with those. I think they look pretty cosy. That's the door open, and then from the outside just looks plain black, but yeah, totally private, so pretty happy with that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's Make Do Amend video. I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any comments, please like and subscribe. It's always good to get feedback from you. I'm also on Instagram, improvb, and I do publish on my stories various things as I'm doing them in the van. So it'd be great to see you there. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video, probably from the driveway.